Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Zenji and today we're going to be playing Hearth and Hamlet. So today I'm going to be starting my journey in Hearth and Hamlet where I'll gather resources, expand my village and unlock powerful upgrades and build my kingdom from the ground up. Alright, with all that being said, we are going to start a new game. We're going to of course call ourselves Zenji's Kingdom. I don't know. I could spell. There you go. I think what we'll do is you get to choose a different difficulties. So I'm going to go with a challenging one. I just think that we're going to try and test ourselves. And we did play a little bit just to see what the game was about. But for now we are just going to start a new one. Alright, so long ago a war ravaged the southern lands. 3 refugees fled into the untamed north. Carrying little but loss and fragile hope, they sought peace and a quiet place to begin again. After a long and dangerous journey, the group discovered a tranquil location where they decided to set up camp and rest. Alright, so the way this game works is that you can idle click or / hold down a resource button to gather that resource. So now we can hold down our mouse over here and it generates wood. So of course we can also click it, but for the most part we can just hold it down. Alright, so we're going to look at the map now. We're going to zoom out. So if you noticed, it has a very much like a Stardew Valley look and feel. Pixelated graphics and yeah, it's quite nice. Very relaxing music. I mean, a gigantic map that's huge. And yeah, so what we are going to do is just farm some wood. Well, first set up a camp. And everything's very quick to play. We need 50 wood to start. So in the beginning, it'll be a bit slow, but it ramps up quite quickly. And of course, once that happens, it becomes a management guessing game. Alright, this location seemed to have everything, fresh running water, fertile soil, and not a monster in sight. It was an easy decision to stay longer. Alright, so here we can see how many workers we have spare. So we have 1 worker, and it gives you the net worker, assignments, etc. So basically a work overview. Over here is our population growth, so population overview. Alright, and then over here we have our housing capacity, so that's I guess how many villages we can accommodate. Over here is our food security, so currently it's stuck at 16.7 seconds. As soon as we start farming food, it shall go down. And then this is our overall happiness level. Okay, so we have 1 spare worker, and what we are going to do is of course select them over here and then push the up arrow key, and now they're assigned over here, which means they're going to be generating 1 wood a second. Of course we can assist the worker by just holding down our mouse and over there the resource icon, like so. Right, and then we are going to click the camp icon here. We need 60 wood, which we have now. This will unlock fishing for us. So, before long, the campsite was much more comfortable, but more refugees were on their way, and there wasn't enough food for everyone. Fortunately, the nearby river was teeming with fish, and the woods to the north were abundant with game. Alright, so there is points of interest in the game, and we get them by looking at the arrows that sort of point along the map. So we'll see one down here that's pointing to the fishing location. So of course what we can do is just hold it down until we get enough workers. So we don't have any available at this point, but we can start fishing. And of course there's going to be a lot of this. And I guess we are going to look at our next upgrade, which is 80 and 80. So 80 food, 80 wood. All right, and then just finish this off. Okay, we've upgraded the camp. So, unwilling to turn anyone away, the growing campsite quickly filled. We needed more wood and food to expand it. So, we can build a fisherman's and woodcutter's hut now. And of course, we've got to make sure we don't run out of food. Currently, we are bleeding food. We've got to make sure we obviously keep the citizens fed. And a good way to do that is add in some workers. So a lot of buildings are required to progress in this game, which means we're going to have to find these resources. Now over time, we won't have to hold down our mouse anymore. It's sort of automatically done for us. But in the early game, yeah, it's sort of unavoidable. So of course this is an idle game, so most people I guess could play this while watching something and every now and then farming some goods. For the next upgrade. So we need about 160 food, but we also need 160 wood. So what I would think is the best option is to farm a bit more than what you need, as we have a net, we have a positive net change, but sometimes there's a negative net change. And yeah, so you sometimes want to farm more than you have, so that when you do an upgrade or a build, you have enough and you don't have to sort of go back to the farming side, if that makes any sort of sense. All right, we should have enough now, so we are going to build a fishing hut. All right, there we go. Officially, we have unlocked some research. So when you unlock research, you don't unlock this as in it's active. It's just available to be activated. So you have to pay for these research items to be unlocked, and 2 of these are extra food storage 1 and skilled labor 1. So it's quite a complicated thing, but looking at so looking at our research book, I do quite love the art style here. And if you notice, we have a fishing tab over here. So throughout the game, you build many buildings, and each building type has its own tab. And of course, the table of contents gets expanded quite a lot. So what we are going to do is just sort of see what that looks like. So clicking on the tab takes you to the page, and then it can show you what research things you can buy and I guess begin upgrading towards. So adding more food storage is pretty good. And obviously fishing production. So you always want to do the research per level. So this is all level 1. We want to try and max these out before moving on to the next level. So of course we don't have enough resources for now. So we're going to have to get that the old-fashioned way by just holding down and clicking. Now I like to stack workers on one building to maximize the effectiveness of it. So currently we have 3 workers in the fishing hut, and as you can see, our food is climbing quite nicely in the top section over here. Now if you were wondering, how do I get from this fishing hut to this wood cutting area so quickly? And the best way to do it is to actually click on the resource, and it snaps you to the location. And we'll do the same over here. So it's going to save you a lot of time. You could basically play this game with one hand, which is quite cool. And definitely helps with the idle aspect of the game. Right, we do have a lumber mill area, so we are going to go to that. Of course, constructed. Our reward is +1 base wood productivity, +2 max woodcutters, and +3000 wood storage. This is considered the research options. So as soon as I build that. Alright, so with adequate food and timber, our small community was growing quickly. So we have a new quest, which is to reach 50 population. And yeah, so they just mentioned the fast travel option here again, just so that you know. And of course, we can now see our maximum population. Of course, we need to build more housing. Or most buildings increase housing. And of course we want to upgrade them and increase our housing limit. But alright, now we are at our lumber yard. So this is what I mean by upgrading the building. So you can upgrade it again to level 2, for example. It costs quite a lot of resources. And when you do this, you get more research items. So if we go to the book, we will see that the lumber tab is now there. We're currently sitting at level 1 on skilled labor, extra wood storage. But if we had to upgrade to a level 2 woodcutting building, we then gain access to level 2, which has a whole variety of different upgrades and research items. So it gets quite in-depth and quite complicated quite quickly, which is of course very fun. So I do love that aspect. Of course, we are going to now add in some more workers over here. Okay, so we are going to gather a little bit of wood, try speed up our production. I believe the next research item is going to be, or next building item is going to be the stone cutting area, which will be by our main camp somewhere. So we're just going to hit an upgrade, I believe. Yes. Okay, so we're going to upgrade our camp to level 4, which is going to give us a +2 to workers, resource storage, unlocks the stone aspect, unlocks a tavern building, and a wood cabin. Alright, with that being said, we have now new blue arrows everywhere. So we have a public house, a chief's house. I read that as chef's the first time, but that is chief. And then we have the stone zone. So this is not actually a quarry. This is just like a rock that we're mining. But we are of course going to put one worker there to start collecting that. Now, if you look at our resources, we're sitting with a higher value of food and wood, but not a lot of stone. Of course, we want to collect as much as we can to find the next upgrade and try push our population a lot higher. So we can look at the chief's house. We require 150 stone. This will unlock the quarry, another food gathering area called hunting, which is where we can get game, and then a carpenter, which does help with wood, I guess, production in some sense. So we need 150 stone. It's quite easy to get to. Right, that's done. We are going to go to the chief's house, construct this. Right, some more research is now available, and we are going to put another worker on this quarry zone. And of course, when we do have enough resources, we are going to put them onto the quarry. So to build the quarry, we require 1300 food, which is quite a lot, and 700 wood, which we do currently have, so not a problem over there. What I'll do is I'll take 2 workers off there and add them to this game tab over here to try and increase productivity. So we also have the public house. So the public house, it's a modest common house for growing the community, which they can gather in. Now it does cost 300 food for 50 wood and 150 stone. The rewards researchers is 10% happiness to bonus resource gathering, some storage, church, and houses. I would say we would build this one over the quarry just because it is a bit cheaper, and it might allow us to get some more workers in. It's currently we're only sitting at 4. So we are going to construct this. And there we go. So we have unlocked more research. So if we go to our book over here, there is a leadership option, which basically gives us more power when clicking or holding down our mouse button. So we can gather more resources. This is quite handy. And then a critical success. So this is very good. So when we're holding down our mouse button on the resource gathering option, we can actually gather a large amount of that resource randomly. So it's obviously a 2% chance, but it does sort of happen randomly, and this is very, very good. So of course we'll try to get these two options first before building any more buildings. And then what we do have over here is a church. So the church allows us to get faster residences, so new workers quicker, but it is quite expensive to get to, and then you have to of course get the upgrades, which can take quite a while. And then we do have hunting, which is, so if we go here to the food icon, we'll see there's fish, game, and corn, which means farming. So I guess that's like, you know, fish meat, you know, red meat or wild game, and then, you know, farming, which is corn or whatever other resource you can think of on a farm. So taking a look at this building, it is kind of cheap, only 400 and 400 and 200. So this of course will increase hunting productivity. It's a research item. So we'll try get a lot of these as we progress. Unfortunately, there's no speed up button, so you're going to have to just wing it. But for now, we are sitting at 34 total population, of which only 4 workers work. So not a good ratio. That's the one thing I find quite funny, that the population numbers can be massive, but the working population is like maybe 12% or something ridiculous. But it's still fun. I don't see anything wrong with that. But hey, we also have dwellings over here. So now we can add a dwellings building. Of course, this is a little bit more expensive, but it does increase our housing capacity. So if we are struggling with housing, we definitely want to get the dwelling. Currently we're 36 of 56, which means we still have some room to grow and we don't really have to stress about it this second. But for now, I think what we want to do, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. I think we'll get the hunting cabin. This is going to allow us to get some more food types, and we need that for, I guess, production and I guess overall happiness, because we want to boost the happiness of our population, and the food variety is going to help us with that. Of course, that's going to unlock some more research, and yeah, we're going to just hold down this button for a while. So over here we get 3.3 meat per hold down, or per millisecond, and if we go down to the fish, we get 2.2. So different resources have different values to their gathering rates, which I find quite interesting. But hey, we also have, I guess, the quarry, which we kind of want to get going too. So let's take a look, see. We need a good 1300 food, so let's try get that going. And the higher rated food is going to be, I guess, the wild game. So we're going to hold down this for a while and try collect as many food, I guess, points as possible. And we just got another worker in, so of course we're going to put them into the game lodge. Which is a very peaceful game. You know, it's very calming, which I do quite like. And before you know it, you're 3-4 hours in, so it can kind of get away from you. But they do add in layers of complexity, which I quite like. So I always think that's good with games, to not just have a very simple game, but something that's sort of layered, and it gives you something when you keep playing. I find that quite intriguing. Alright, we're at 1700 food. Now we are going to get to a wood cutting lodge. Just farm a bit more over here. Takes us to 700. And then because we don't have a clickable arrow over here, we're just going to have to go here manually. Click on the quarry. We are going to construct this now. Alright, so now we have the quarry. And what that does, it automatically moves the workers that were over here, which is quite nice. So currently we're ticking on all 3 resources. So food, there's 2 or 6 in total, but 2 separate camps for that. Then there is the stone camp and wood camp. So the wood camp is struggling a little bit, so we might just go over here and click a bit. Alright, so we are going to take a look and see if we can perhaps increase our production rates. We do have an option here to buy some skilled labor. So this is going to increase our wood production. We are going to get that. Then there is extra wood storage. Now this is always handy to get. So of course we'll get that while we're here. It only costs 200 wood. And to exit this pixel booklet screen, you just want to click on the side here. It's going to close your book. Then get back to work. Of course, we are going to add another worker here as we just received one. And we should get to 200 wood very, very quickly. And then we go back to our book, go back to lumber, get the upgrade, and now we're good. So we don't have to worry about all of this for a while. But as you can see, now we have a stone tab, there's a fishing tab, a game tab, and I think a general unlock tab. I think this is the, this is the leader tab. So this is extremely important. We need both of these to speed up our progression. But all right, we have a interaction here. So our humble campsite could no longer support our growing community. We decided to replace it with a town square to unite our settlement and welcome new refugees. So we need to build a town square and reach 100 population. Right, so I don't think there's a quick way to get to the town center, so we're just going to have to go there manually. If you do hold down left click, you can move around the map, which is quite handy. All right, we're going to go to the campsite, and we need 3,000 food, which is quite a lot. And to get that, what we are going to do is first get a clickable resource upgrade. I think I saw it was 300 wood and 250 wood. So we're going to get to 550 total. Go back to our book. Go to leadership. Get the gifted leader and critical success. Now if we click out of here and we hold down this button, you'll see there's a big yellow I guess number that pops up every now and then. That is the critical success rate, so we're receiving higher value based on our critical success chance of harvesting as a leader. So we are going to hold this down, collect as much as we can, and then we're going to go down to, we're going to do the game because the values are a little higher here, and the rate of which the game is harvested over fish, so it is a lot higher. So we're going to hold this button down for a while. As you can see, bottom left, our food bar is going up. So food makes our people happy, I think, and a variety of food. So if we go here, we'll see that this is also a food security thing, which is quite cool. So yeah, we currently have 143 seconds of food available, which means our population won't starve to death. I haven't gotten to that point where population starves. I'm sure either people leave or some sort of interaction happens, but yeah, it's obviously a bad thing. Alright, we're going to get to a goal of 3,000 food, and once that happens, we can upgrade our town camp into a town center. And I'm sure from there we will grow bigger and better. If I do take a look at our bottom left here, our happiness is only sitting at 110%. So the tavern gives us a 10% bonus, but this bar doesn't look even. 100% should be middle, maybe. But it's not, unfortunately, so that's just what it is. Maybe that's a visual thing, but for now, yeah, we're about to hit our goal of 3,000 food. Right, and there we go. Now, we're going to left click drag to our camp. Go to builds, and we're going to upgrade our camp. Alright, we have a town square, which kind of takes our campsite away. Now we just have logs and a tree. Doesn't make much sense. Something over here. So we'll just imagine that that's okay. Alright, I think the next step is to get dwellings. As we're kind of approaching our population growth limit, we're almost hitting our housing capacity. So going here, we need 750 food, which means we are going to go back to our game lodge. Hold down the button and see if we can get to that relatively quickly. And yeah, like I said a bit earlier, the early game is always going to be a little tedious. We are going to have to click and hold down gathering rates for each type of resource just to progress the population a bit quicker. But of course you don't have to. You can just wait and relax, listen to some nice calming music. But of course, we do want to progress quite quickly as we're playing on a little bit of a harder difficulty. Alright, so with the dwelling building built, we now have 106 housing capacity. So that should help us quite a bit in the near future. And if we zoom in, we can sort of see these characters all scattered about. A nice little farm area over here with a scarecrow. And then there's an old man here at the tavern. You have some fishes. So if you click up or down, it will add or remove a fishing person. And then they go away, and then they're back. But that's quite cool. But we do have some more things to gather and add. As you can see, our stone quarry is operational. The next item on the docket is the iron mine. So iron is another resource we need for upgrading and progressing our settlement. Of course, we need quite a lot of food and wood for that. Now, if we take a look at our production rates, food is at a 6.6, while wood is at a 7.26. So we're going to go to our food and try collect as much as we can. And then we'll switch in between food and wood to try and get them to that next level at the same time. Yes, there's some details you could see over here. So these do look like fir trees, and yeah, the general pixelation art looks very similar to okay, I'm losing the name now. Stardew Valley, yes. So, alright, we're going to continue to add more food to our production. Every now and then getting a nice big boost. Maybe not for a while. No critical chances here, it seems. Alright, we're going to go back to wood now. Try and gather a bit more over here. Right, we'll add another worker to the wood construction production. Alright, we're at almost 2,000 wood. And now we will shift over to our iron mine, which is over here. And yeah, we have enough goods over there. So we have an iron mine. And now it gets to the point where do you put your workers? They're sort of stacked all across the area. So what I'll do is I'll shift over one fisher and one hunter, and then go to the iron mine and put 2 iron miners in there. But hey, we also have a few new buildings to build, or options to build something. So we have the carpenter. This unlocks carpenter research. We can of course build that right now. There is the blacksmith, which gives us better tools for improved production. So for example, if I have a better axe, I'm going to be able to harvest more wood, better pick for more stone and iron, etc. So that's what the Smith's Forge does for us. Then we also have the road. So it's a small path, and it will be much easier trekking through the wilderness. So basically, it gives us a +1 to all resource gathering. I mean, that makes sense, right? So it's quicker to transport the goods you're harvesting. And we also have the church. So the church gives us a happiness bonus. It also gives us an extra population bonus, which you cannot see here. This is a nice one to have, so I might rush this. It looks like our wood production is quite high at 9.6, and our food is actually dropping, so we need to perhaps get on this. We're going to just start gathering. Try to get back to a good number. I think we need 2,000 food, but we also need another worker in here. Try and balance out these numbers. I think perhaps we just do that. We grab a worker from the wood cutting pile, go back to the game, and that should put us in a net positive of 2.6. Right, once the church is built, I think we are going to spend some time gathering resources to do upgrades, especially across the board. We want to make sure that we're continually improving the settlement and not just building buildings, and you sort of get stuck in just, you know, wasting resources on building things than production speeds. Right, so we'll do one more building and then we'll go to research. Alright, we're hitting about 2,000 food right now, and then the church will be built. Right, there we go. So go down to the church tab, go build. We are going to construct this. Alright, so if we click on the church, go to research, we'll see that there is the Baptist font. Sorry, baptismal font. For some reason that gives us a plus 20% birth rate in speed. Never knew a font could do that. And yes, there's also a heaven's blessing, which gives us happiness, I believe. No, it gives us extra +3 fishing production for 120 seconds. That's quite cool. But there's also a soup kitchen, which gives us, it's a policy, so a +10% happiness bonus, and then a +10% food consumption. But of course we need gold for that, which is a later resource we get later on. So we cannot even get that right now. Alright, now let's focus on research. Alright, we've gone to lumber, we've gotten these two, so we'll go to stone next. We can then get skilled labor, we'll do that. And then we'll try and get extra stone storage. So we need a bit of food. We'll go back to our hunting game lodge, gather 400 food. Go back to our quarry. And then do the extra stone storage upgrade. Alright, now that that's done, we can now go to the fishing tab. And it costs us 500 food to upgrade our fishing tab to get a +10% fishing production. And then another 175 thereafter for food storage. So we're going to go again and just start clicking away and try to gather as much food as possible. But hey, currently we're sitting at 122 housing capacity, so we still have a lot of room to grow. I think our latest quest is to reach 100 population. So we're about 23 people out from getting to that number. I think we need about 700 or 800 food to finish off those next two research items. So that means I'll go to 900 just to make sure we have enough, so our people don't starve. Alright, going back to our research book, going to fishing hut. We're going to get the fishing labor upgrade, so skilled labor 1, and then the extra food storage, which gives us 1000 food storage capacity. Alright, next upgrade book in the book is another skilled labor for hunting, and then extra food storage. So we can get this right now, and then we'll get another 500 food to get the hunting one done. So it's a lot of this, you know, gathering your resources, doing upgrades, but it gets to a certain point where you're no longer gathering resources by hand. The workers are doing that for you. which is quite handy. Okay, now that that's done, we can go to the next tab, which is iron. It's a little bit more expensive. Currently, there is skill label 1, which is 1000 food, 1000 iron. We don't even have 1000 iron yet. And then, of course, on top of that, we need another 400 to complete the extra iron storage. So, let's gather. How much food was that? I think it is 1600. Alright, so we'll gather a bit of food over here and then move on to getting some more iron. I think we need a total of 1400 iron. And eventually you do get a research item that lets you know when a building is ready to be built. But there's also a star, like you can bookmark a building upgrade, I believe, and or research. So it is quite handy. And of course, there is some quality of life things that do come on a bit later on. But for now, it's just, you know, nice, calming, relaxing. Gather food in the background. Hey, we are going to go down to our iron mine and just start gathering iron. As we can see, we have one iron miner there. I think the more we add, the more we see on the side. There we go. The guy on the right just appeared. Of course, I think you can turn the in-game sound down, so if you don't want to hear this odd sound, you don't have to, which is quite nice. Alright, we've reached 1400. We are going to add another worker over here. Go to our research tree, click on iron mine, get both upgrades, and then go on to the next, which is not the leader tab. We have the tavern. So the tavern can give us a population upgrade and also hearty meals. So we'll do both over here. We'll do the tavern accommodation first. And then we just need some more food for the hearty meals. So we'll gather some fish this time around and see how this goes. As you can see, our food security is quite low, so we need to just watch out. We don't want to, of course, get down to 0 and let our people starve. Alright, I think that should be enough. Back to our research, and I think we're going to the tavern, getting the hearty meals upgrade. Alright, on our last tab, which is our church tab, we have the Heaven's Blessing, which is not something we really need to get. It's a shop item, so I think you still have to buy it after you unlock it. But what we can get is the baptismal font, which means higher rates of, I guess, workers joining our cause. So we just need 800 food, so we can hold this down for a little bit. And then we can start focusing on building more buildings and expanding our kingdom a bit. Alright, I can't hear that sound anymore. I'm going to switch over to hunting. It sounds a little bit more calming. Alright, switching back to our research tab, going to the church, and now unlocking the baptismal font. Alright, and there's obviously nothing else we can research, so we have some options now. We're going to do the next few upgrades, which is the carpenter, the road, and the church. Oh, sorry, the blacksmith. I think the road's probably more important than and then the others. We need 3000 food for that. This is the roads upgrade there. So let's just add these 3 in. And this is the Smith's Forge, which is also quite a lot of resources. We're going to Okay, you can only have one running at a time. Alright, that's quite interesting. The other... I think the woodcutter's house is probably the cheapest, so we'll go with this one first. And we'll just stay in this window until we reach 450 food. This does unlock the carpenter research, or carpentry research. There we go. Alright, so while our goods are being gathered in the background, let's go to our research. And I will just click here by the carpenter. Now we have 3 upgrade options, or potential research items, which is wood crafting. So I get a +1 to wood production. Efficient cuts, I get a +2 to wood production. And then craftsmanship 1, which is a +5 to resource gathering. And of course, I'm going to get all 3 of these before moving on to the next item, which means, you guessed it, more food gathering. Better sounding one is definitely the hunting one. It's not so sloshy. So of course we are going to gather food till about 12 to 1500 food. But as you can see on the right hand side, I mean, the wood gathering rates are going to be massive, so it is really going to help us maximize our gathering rates for wood. And of course you need wood for everything, and eventually the numbers get so high that it gets kind of crazy. We have to make sure we get to those points a lot sooner than later, as there is some bad people out there that are going to come for us. Alright, so we're getting to about 1500. I'm going to switch back to our research book. And where was it? Carpentry. Alright, wood crafting, buy. Efficient cuts, buy. Craftsmanship 1, buy. Alright, that's all 3 research items done over there. Now the next option is the road or the blacksmith. The road has a requirement of 3000 food, where the smithing has 2700, but a variety of other requirements. We'll go with the road first, and we'll just put it on screen so we were reminded of what we're looking for. And yeah, so that is the next goal. Alright, well, we'll just do this in the background and then come back when it's done. Alright, we're about to reach our goal of 3000 food. And we also just acquired another worker, so of course we are going to put them to work. And once you've sort of started your research item or build, you can actually click this movement icon or man running icon, and it takes you exactly where you need to go. So that's going to be very helpful. Also, we are going to construct the, I guess, roads, which gives us some more production speed. Alright, the next big upgrade is the blacksmith. And we are going to start this at 2. Of course, again, we need food as per usual. So, you know the drill. Get your finger ready and just hold down your mouse button. But of course, we are approaching 100 settlers. We're currently sitting at 91. And our capacity is 136. So it's looking quite good. We are slowly but surely getting there. And once we hit 100 settlers, I think the next triggered event happens, which is how the game sort of progresses. It gives you goals upon goals. And of course, it's all based around population, I think, in the beginning, and then later on it switches. But I've only played to a certain point, so I don't know beyond that point. And yeah, so we'll have to wait and see what fun things happen in the near future. Alright, we are approaching our goal, 2700 food. Going to the blacksmith, we are going to build and construct. Alright, so resource upgrades, multipliers. Our base production extras are added afterwards. And gathering amount, so base times multipliers plus extras. That's a sort of breakdown of what's happening. Right, we do have access now to town guards. It's quite cool. It's like a circle of mushrooms. And yeah, I don't know if you guys have seen Delicious Dungeon, but do not step into a circle of mushrooms. Right, we are going to go not there. Yeah, this is way too expensive for now. So we're going to go back to our research tree. I think we're going to go to the blacksmith. Alright. Tool forging is quite expensive, so we're not going to get that just yet. This is after we get, I think, soldiers. So let's just wait a minute before we get these upgrades. Let's perhaps just build the town guards first. In the meantime, let's take a look and see what's happening around us. We're about to reach our new population level. We have unlocked a construction advisor. So this is a construction advisor, and they will notify us when we can afford an upgrade, which is quite handy because there's so much going on. Eventually, you're going to need this. So I'm going to upgrade or purchase that. We're going to go through our list again. So as you can see, because we have a blacksmith now, we can get sturdier tools, which is obviously going to help us. We just need 100 more iron, and then we can get a sturdy tool for wood production, which is already quite high, but of course we're just going to do it in order so that we don't forget any of the details. We'll do that and get woodworker improvements, and there's no more unlocks there. And the next one is our stone production. So that's going to take a minute, and we're going to obviously gather as much as we can. I think we need to put some more workers into our iron mine, as it's the lowest value we have next to food. But food is sort of easy to gather because, I mean, as you can see, 6.2 per hold, plus a massive, boon when we do eventually hit a critical success, which is quite handy. But hey, we're approaching our 100 settler mark. And once that happens, the quest will complete and our next phase will begin. But for now, we're just going to continue to gather more food. Right, we are going to look and see. So we're at the quarry. Need 1,000 iron. We can get the upgrade over there. Alright, so with adequate food and timber, our small campsite had quickly grown into a thriving hamlet. New title card. And hey, we are going to now reach a population of 200. So that is our next goal. Of course, we are going to accept that. Accept it again. And yeah, we're at currently 101. So while that's happening, we need to get 1,000 iron, which we're slowly approaching, as you can see in the top right of our screen. There we go. So we've now bought these 2 upgrades for our stone camp. We're now going to our fishing camp. And you guessed it, more farming. Alright, so now we're actually going to go to our iron mine and see if we can get some of these resources. We're going to do a round of upgrades across all production buildings, and then we're going to focus on getting our town guards up and running. So you ask yourself, why do you need town guards? Well, eventually we get attacked by all sorts of mythical creatures, from goblins to skeletons to you name it. And yeah, so we need to get soldiers as soon as we can, because we're going to have to defend ourselves and our growing kingdom. So yeah, we're going to get, I think it's 1,200 iron. Let's just get to that point and go back to our research. Going to the fishing hut. 1,000. Yes. Okay, we just need a bit more food, which we are going to get now. Doesn't hurt to go there and get 2 upgrades at once. Alright, so we just need another 250. And we'll get a little bit more just in case. Alright, going to fishing huts, get both these upgrades, so better tool production, 50% fishing production, and +2 to maximum fishing workers. Alright, moving on to the next tab. it is the hunting tab. And we do have the 50% hunting efficiency, which again is going to cost us quite a lot of stuff. So we'll go to our iron mine and harvest a bit of iron on the side while our food slowly progresses. Now, because our wood production is so high, we can actually drop this number quite a bit. Go to the food, add a worker in there, go down to fishing, add a worker in there, go back to our iron mine, do some more manual mining. This is just how it goes for now. And our food production is actually faster than us helping our iron miners. So the net change after deductions is plus 25 for food. And for our iron mine, it is only 9.5? Yeah, 9.5. So not terrible, but yeah, sort of middle of the road. And I believe we should have enough now to do some research. So we were at the hunting tab. We're going to get the sturdy tools, improved work area. Moving on to the iron mine itself. Of course, you guessed it, we need more iron and food. So, back to work. And I guess, yeah, stone production is looking good. Wood is also very, very good. We're almost reaching capacity. So when that starts to happen, you either go to those resource locations and switch out your workers, or you look for more upgrades to sort of spend your resources as you grow. And of course you can focus on one type of resource first. Usually food is the most sought after resource, but eventually it switches out to more complicated resources. Right, we are going to add another worker to our iron mine as one has just arrived. Alright, so we are going to get to 1,500 iron. Go back to our book. Go back to our iron mine tab. We're going to get the sturdy tools upgrade and improved work area 1. Now, the next upgrade option is most likely going to be blacksmith, which we are going to ignore for now. So we'll go to the carpenter, which we already have everything here, so no worry there. We'll go to the tavern, also no worry there. Alright, and it's just the soup kitchen and heaven's blessing. Alright, so now that we've got all upgrades that we can possibly get, we're going to focus on getting the tower guard building, which is going to cost us quite a lot of food, wood, and iron. Alright, so I'm going to focus on getting a bit of food first to try get this done as soon as possible. So we're looking for 8,000. Let me just bookmark this because my brain sometimes just goes foggy. Alright, there we go. So 8,000 food, 8,000 wood, 2,000 iron. So we should get there relatively soon. But yeah, we'll do this off camera quick. Okay, we're approaching our target. And there we go. So now we can build a watchman's post, aka town guards. I'm going to construct this. Alright, since we've done that, we can now click on the town guard and we're going to go to military. So this is quite interesting. You get to recruit people or soldiers from your own population, and then when you recruit a certain amount, the conscription amount affects the happiness. If I go 1, that's fine. 2, 3, 4, 5. As soon as I hit 7, it gets to a negative 10% happiness. So we'll go to 8 because it's maximizing the 10% effective negative happiness, but also maximizing our soldier count. But of course, you don't just get the soldiers, you have to train them. So this is the training thing. As soon as this ticks, you'll start to see the food drop. So there we go. So it actually consumes that 600 food amount, consumes that iron amount. So you got to be careful when doing upgrades because this isn't an instant. This is as they get trained. So you got to be careful. As you can see, we have our first soldier. Or knight, or whatever you want to call it, mercenary. And this tab grows quite a lot. Now we do have another worker available. And our lowest resource is wood. So we're going to put another worker there. And then we're going to go down to the blacksmith. Let's take a look at our research. We have town guards now. So town guards, there is soldiers that gives us a +1 attack damage and a plus 0.5 iron upkeep per soldier. I believe that's more upkeep. I get confused. Then there is leather armor. So +4 combat defense, but also +1 food upkeep per soldier. So we are gaining a bit more armor, but also there's more upkeep involved. And then there's a gold upgrade, which we, of course we cannot get right now, so we'll just ignore that. But first we are going to go to the blacksmith and do, I think, a few of these upgrades. And we need a bit more iron. Iron is clearly the constraint over here. So we'll do +4 to soldier defense. And then next option will be the weapon forging. So it gives a +1 to attack damage. Of course, to do that, we're going to need to farm a lot more iron. All the while, our food, wood, and stone is slowly rising. And as you can see, the soldiers are training in the background. And it's perpetually daytime, by the way. You'll never see a nighttime in this game. It's quite funny. It would be cool to see a nighttime aspect, but it is an idle incremental game, so don't expect such things. Alright, we are going to add another worker to our iron mine as they just arrived. It is not a great sound to hear over and over again. Okay, we go to town guards. Okay, no, that's not it. We go to blacksmithing. Alright, we need a bit of food. We also need, I guess, more food. Alright, so that's a tool upgrade for forging. That's pretty cool, but let's get the soldier one first. So we just need a bit of more food. 2,700 to be precise. Alright, we should get there relatively soon. And I think the next big one would be the tool upgrade, because then we're getting resources faster, which is exactly what we need. Because I do not want to hold down my mouse button any longer than I have to. I like to click and build. Or click and plan, let's say. Alright, back to research. Go to blacksmithing. Get that upgrade. And then this is the next one. I do think there should be like a star tag here so that we can actually, you know, focus on what you want to upgrade, which is quite cool. So get the blacksmith tool forging, and then I can start that, look at it. But now I have to click, you have to click here, you have to click here, and then I have to click it. So it's an extra 2 to 3 clicks, which in the grand scheme of things is not a lot of extra work, considering we're just holding down our mouse 90% of the time. But you know, after a while, my index finger gets a little sore. Right, we're gonna do this off camera just because it's gonna take a minute. Alright, we've got enough resources to finally do the upgrade. No, we don't. Never mind. Need more food. Oh my goodness. Let's get some game this time. I think we need more wood. So let's add another worker over here. Our stone quarry is now fully equipped. So let's go back and just remove a couple workers there. Go back to food. Start gathering. I think we need 4,500. So pretty much when your storage gets full, you know, you're going to have to switch your workers out. But eventually you just want to pretty much upgrade your storage. So we'll get to that point at a later stage. Now we are going to do another upgrade. Then there is... what else? Tavern. Nothing. Church. Not really anything we can get there for now. And just these upgrades. So these two, which is, I guess, another 8,800 iron. We can do that passively. We don't have to really focus on that for now. Is there anything else we can get? I think we will start actually upgrading our food production buildings. So let's go to fisheries. Click on the fishing hut. We can start actually increasing the amount of food gathering buildings can do. So let's do that, because I do not want to click any more buttons or hold down my finger much longer. And yeah, so 2,000 food to get this upgrade done. Alright, that is also going to unlock some more research. So this is the progression. You know, we're unlocking different levels of our buildings, but also different research items at that level. But long story short, we're just gathering resources incrementally forever and ever. Alright, so the hunting lodge is a little bit more expensive. Wow, 10,500 food and 10,000 wood. And then 4,500 iron. Well, let's get the iron first. Be better that way. Alright, you know the drill. We'll do this off camera, but yeah, this is our next goal. Right, we should have enough now for our building upgrade, which is Hunting Lodge 2. Alright, there we go. Alright, so more research is now available. And there's food storage. And what else? Ooh, going to the next page. It does cost gold though, but there is skilled labor too. Scouting, so more information about incoming enemies. That's very interesting. Haven't seen that before. Right, we cannot get that. We don't have gold yet. So we're going to go to the next tab, which is iron. Is there anything here? No. Alright, so we've upgraded the fishery. So this is 2. You can see like a little shield icon with a number there. A Roman numeral number. And then town square is 1. Public house 1. Fishery 2. So we are approaching our housing capacity limit. So I think what we'll do is we'll go to dwellings. And we'll get some more upgrades over here. And we'll just have to manually mine, I think. We'll take a couple guys off here, put them on the stone worker. Alright, we're going to have to manually mine. We get about 2,000 to 3,000 wood. So we can upgrade our dwellings and try and get our housing capacity a bit higher. I think our critical success points are in line with our population because the number keeps going up. Or harvest rate, I'm actually not too sure, but yeah, the numbers are going up. Maybe it's equivalent to our research, but it does seem to be affected by population in some ways. Right, we're going to go to our dwelling. Level 1. We need 6,750 wood. Never mind. Back to work, it seems. Oh, and a blue arrow. But first, let's just try and automatically mine some wood. We don't want to manually do this because it seems like a waste of. Oh, we do see a blue arrow down here. There is a workshop. Now let's take a look at the workshop. Small shack for basic leather curing and crafting. That's quite cool. It does cost us 10,000 wood though, so that is something we're going to have to get to. Alright, for now we are just going to continually mine wood. Trying to get to about 7,000 wood before we can of course do the dwelling upgrade. Once we've done the dwelling upgrade, I definitely think we need to do a storage capacity upgrade because we're getting goods, we're getting resources, but we're also, yeah, we're not storing enough. Right, I think we have enough. Let's go all the way over here. The dwelling, we're going to upgrade this. And hey, there we go. We now have a capacity of 236. This is in line with our quest to reach 200 population. Alright, so the next step... Ooh, it also unlocks the Alchemist, which is another building type. Workshop. And farm. Let's see, what do we need? Probably... Okay, probably stone quarry. We'll put one there. Alright, before we do anything else, we want to get more storage. Let's see. This is going to give us plus 8,000 resource storage. So we just need 6,000 wood to get that. And once we have that, we'll have more storage capacity. It should be quite quick. Okay, there we go. Go to the town square. We're going to upgrade. Alright, our town square now looks paved and pretty. We have a well over here. That's cool. Also have another worker available. We'll put them into... I guess the woodworker, because, yeah, why not? We'll maximize that. Alright, this is where it gets a lot. Like, we're trying to manage a lot of things. But hey, we have reached our goal of 200 population. So, as our hamlet has blossomed, so too did our problems. Before long, we encountered some violent creatures in the area, and it was decided we needed guards to protect us. So, we need to build a guard house and train 5 guards. We have already done this, so no stress, we're already there. And of course, this is like the action menu now, or fighting side of the game. So, while out foraging in the forest, a young couple spotted a small group of goblins approaching town. We had only a short while to make sure we were ready. So this is the sort of battle aspect. So we're constantly going to see this window pop up when enemies are around. You don't get transported to another zone or anything like that. It just pops up here on the bottom right. And then you can sort of minimize that, which is quite cool. So now we can see that the goblins are going to arrive in about a minute and a half and then try attack us. So this is our hamlet and those are our soldiers. And our total attack is 24 with a total HP of 192. Currently, we don't have access to the information about the goblins, but we can get that through something. I don't think it's here, but let's see. Leadership, perhaps? I'm pretty sure I saw it somewhere. Anyway, we'll look for it. We've got some time. Perhaps it's at the blacksmith. It is not. I love it when it was somewhere crafting related on the second page. It won't be fishing. Where would it be? Would it be on a second page here? No. So sorry if this is boring, but I don't know where it is. Alright, we'll find it. I'm sure it's hiding around here somewhere. Oh, and there we go. We defeated the goblins. And we can see some special modifiers here. So more information. So shortly after our encounter with the goblins, soldiers from our old home, Ashenholt, arrived demanding we pay taxes. We fled Ashenholt to avoid the endless war and corruption, but we were in no position to defy them. So As a poor community with little wealth, Ashenhold never expected us to meet their outrageous demands. They sought only to extort and control us. Little did they know that traces of gold had been discovered in the north on the other side of the river. So our next goal is to acquire gold across the river and pay the soldiers' demands. Yeah, this is getting a little complicated. So this is, for example, what the soldiers are requesting from us. Or ongoing, yeah. So it's the foreign tax. That's like a debuff. That's giving us a negative 10% to all production and negative 10% happiness. And of course, we did defeat the goblins, but we don't get any other information about that. Alright, and let's go to the rope bridge. We're going to try and build this. We have enough resources, so we are going to build that. Get to the gold mine. Alright, so this is where it gets a little tricky, because we're gonna need a lot of stuff. A lot of food, a lot of wood, stone, you name it. So this is where the time aspect comes into play. Right now we need lots of food, but yeah, let's just put 2 more workers there. We're now currently sitting at 39.5 food. And then what else? We have the workshop to build. We have a farm to build. We have an alchemist to build. So let's take a look at the farm. So the farm allows us to, it's a base plus 4 base farm productivity. So when we do equip workers in here, we get +4. Unlocks the market for us and gives us some more food storage. That costs 10,000 food. And then we have the workshop, which is only 9,000 food, 10,000 wood, and 1,000 stone. It does unlock workshop research, which is quite cool. And what else? We have the alchemist. Alright, this is quite cheap, so we'll unlock that right now. Gives us the alchemist 1 building. If we go to the shop, we can actually buy some potions. So timber growth potion costs 500 food and 500 iron, and it gives us plus 50% wood gathering, I guess, for 120 seconds, which is quite cool. As soon as you buy it, the buy button is here. There's a little icon that appears on the left here, and it just ticks down. So it's not something you buy and then consume at a later date. You buy, consume right now. And we're not going to do that just yet because we're about full on storage for wood. I think the next option here is to get a workshop, which is only 9,000 food. So let's go to the food game lodge area. Add another worker over here. We need to get to 9,000 food and then we'll get the workshop. I think with the workshop we're going to get higher quality gear for resource gathering. So it makes sense to continually chase upgrades. Because we're going to be gathering things faster. We're not going to be manually farming like this. Which is quite nice. I will not say no to that. Alright, we're going to construct a small shack for basic leather curing and crafting. Alright, workshop is built. It means more research. So leather goods, extra wood, stone and iron production, that's good. Tanning techniques. Hunting generates gold. Ooh. Let's look at that one. Hunting tab. As you can see, it's getting quite expansive. We're already halfway through table of contents. Okay, so we have... At least the sound effects are crazy. Oh, this is where I saw it. Hunting. Okay, so the scouting option allows us to see the enemy's resources, but we do need gold for that. And this is the workshop. So that is the 1 upgrade. This is the 2nd upgrade, which is something we should be doing because that's passive gold. We need gold for that. Alright, that sound is a bit much. Let's go into the farm build and see what we need. So we need 10,000 food. So we'll get that next, which will allow us to get food a lot quicker. Will also allow us to shift over a few like woodworkers to that zone. But for now we are going to just gather some game. Try to get to that amount of 10,000 food. Once we get there, we're going to get to this gold mine. So after the farm, we need another 18,000 food. 18,000 wood, which we're almost there, I mean. And 13,000 stone, 7,000-ish iron. So, not too terrible. But hey, current population is sitting at 234 with about 8 defenders and how many workers? We have 28 workers out of 236 people. What are these people doing? I have no idea. Anyway, we're about to reach our 10,000 food goal, which gets us a farm. Quite nice and cozy. Alright, farm resources are now available. We're going to build the farm out. Construct. And there we go. We have a nice farm. So we're going to go to our workers in the forest. We'll take a couple of their stoneworks. Actually, you need some. We'll take one of their food production. Yeah, we're good. And we'll put the rest of these guys in... A Dracula? No. Just a farmer wearing a black dress. Alright, clicking on the farm. The next upgrade is also 18,000 food and wood. Gives us more farm productivity, food storage, and maximum workers. But opening up the research, it gives us sturdy tools, extra food storage, and more workers, plus a skilled labor 1. Pretty consistent upgrades across different building types. We're going to be seeing the same type of upgrades. Right, so clicking on this icon, we're getting +7. It's not the same as our game, which is a lot higher. Getting +10s. So it makes sense to click here. Alright, an army of huge rats is approaching. It's quite funny. And I love this little like pop-up like auto battler thing, which is quite nice. Let's go to corn, our farm, add another worker there. Go back up to the game farm. Actually, wait. Okay, we're still getting the same amount. Alright, back here. I'm going to be adding some food. I think we need to get to 18,000. So it'll take a minute or two to get there. I guess the more critical success chances we have, the quicker it can become to get our resources. But we're also approaching our maximum housing capacity, so we're definitely going to need to do an upgrade after we get the gold mine. And yeah, we're almost there. Just another 6,000 food. All the while, the rat army Skaven are on their way, and of course we're going to have to take them out. Ooh, they're getting close. That's very cool animation. I do wish it was synced with the mini icon over here. This is such a cute little thing, like that. The knight's just chilling, you know, twiddling his toes around, which is quite cool. Alright, we killed 7 huge rats, but we did lose a defender, which is not great. Alright, so that means we're going to have to buy or recruit another conscript. So we'll do that. Oh, wait. So it automatically replenishes your conscription level. That's quite interesting. So if we lose someone, we're automatically going to train another one. That's very interesting. Alright, we're going to add the gold mine now. We're going to build this. And we're going to add our fresh worker that just arrived over here. And the gold upgrades are pretty stock standard. Just, you know, storage, improved workers, amount, skilled labor, etc. Hey, the next quest is 10,000 gold. Now I could stay here and click on this button for another 10 minutes. But what I actually do want to do is go check out the hunting, second page, and look at maybe the first page. Sorry, it's not here. It's at the leather worker. I'm a fool. We need 1,000 gold, and then we can get 5% hunting production as gold. Which is great because it's a passive thing. So I want to get this first, and then we can maybe get this. 1,500 gold. Get these two upgrades, and then we can get the big target of 10,000. That way we're constantly earning gold in the background. Right, we're going to do this off camera and hopefully get all this done ASAP. Okay, we have reached our goal of 1,500 gold coins. We're going to go to our leather worker. And we're going to get this upgrade over here. And then the tanning techniques. Ooh, that's going up fast. Wasn't expecting it to be that high. Wow. Okay, net change is 6 gold a second. Which is 60 every 10 seconds. Which is 360 a minute, which is not bad. Okay, so 10 minutes, that's 3,600. Right, we do have a market available too. Right, this can be done in the background, but for now we're gonna probably just idle and try gather 10,000 gold in the background. We're definitely doing this off camera just because it's just, yeah, tons of recording time. Right, we'll check back in when we're a little closer. Alright, we're approaching our 10,000 gold mark. And hey, there's our quest complete. Alright, clearly surprised that we had managed to pay their outrageous demands. The Ashenhold soldiers departed. At the same time, our newfound gold mine brought fresh prosperity to the villagers. Alright, our next goal is 800 population. Sorry, 400 population. And to get that, we're going to need some more housing. Which means more stone and iron and gold. Alright, we're going to have to do that off camera. As for now, we're going to have to try and gather enough resources. And perhaps increase our storage. Alright, before we do that, there is a market available. So let's build a market. Collection of small open air stalls where locals barter basic goods. And this unlocks financial upgrades. All the while, some more goblins are approaching. Right, so we're going to the money tab, which is considered... Right, so we have gold storage option here. 30 tools. Alright, before we get to more upgrades, we're going to construct a warehouse, which is going to give us some more food, wood, and stone, and iron storage. Alright, then we are going to go to our food tab. We're going to take 1 or 2 workers off each one of these. And then just add them to the wood collection zone. Alright, back to business. We need a lot of things. And I think the first thing we need is accommodation. Which is over here. So 7,000 gold. 9,000 iron, 16,000 stone, which is a long way away. Lots of wood. Alright. Oh, it's a lot. Alright, we'll just take all our workers off food. Put them onto the quarry. And I guess we'll help I gather that. Go to the stone. Sorry, the wood gathering area. Let's go to food. Okay, we'll leave the food for now. I think that's fine. So we fought some goblins. Again, we did lose 2 defenders. Of course, they do replenish over time. But for now, we do need lots and lots of wood. And lots of stone. I think stone more so than anything else. Oh, it's going up quite quickly. For the dwellings, we need 16,000. Okay, that's quite a lot. Everything else should be done in time. Right, another 4,000. And then I guess the wood is just a few thousand out. So also 16,000 wood required. Alright, all the stone is ready. Now let's just get the wood. Okay, finally we have enough. Time to upgrade some dwellings. Nope, almost there. Just another 100 iron. Should be good to go. Alright, so there we go. Almost added a whole 100 units to our housing capacity, which is quite nice. So currently we're on dwellings 3. Dwellings 4 is... Ooh, okay, so this requires... I don't know what that is to unlock. These are blueprints and will unlock as you progress further into the game. Okay, so those are specialized upgrade icons. I'm not sure exactly, but we need them. Alright, with all that being said, what is the next goal? We have lots of level 1 buildings. Level 2s. I think what we do is we go to the warehouse because we want to maximize, for example, we have a lot of food and we always want to keep this topped up, so an extra 20,000 would do wonders for us. So to get 20,000 extra storage, we're going to need some more resources, predominantly in these 3 zones. So we'll do that off camera and then come back and do the warehouse upgrade level 2. Alright, we're approaching our 9,000 iron requirement for the warehouse 2 upgrade, but we have some skellies at our doorstep and our knights are going to defend us. So they're currently battling. Oh shit. Losing a battle results in stolen resources. No! A temporary debuff. Some of your population fleeing. Oh my god. You can reduce the risk by hiring extra soldiers, improving your upgrades. Walls or using temporary buffs. Just be careful as soldiers cost a lot to maintain. Losing battles is normal, so don't worry. Prefer an easier time? You can... Okay, no thanks. We killed 29 of them. Look how much they stole from us. Okay, we get obviously potions or something there. Oh man, that sucks. They stole all of our goods. Alright, I think we need to invest in our defenses now. After we get the 9,000. Yeah, we'll do that as a priority. Damn, that's rough. And we lost some population. So definitely it's important to have enough soldiers. But yeah, we're at a debuff. So this is the debuff we got from losing the battle. And minus 50% happiness, 20% efficiency on, negative 20% efficiency on buildings. So definitely win your battles. Alright, let's go to the warehouse and then do an upgrade. Alright, now our storage is at almost 50,000 each. Except gold, which is at 20,000. Alright, we're gonna try gather some more resources and then do some town upgrades. For research, we're gonna do a whole bunch of these. So we'll gather almost 9,000 iron again, and then 10,000 gold to do these upgrades. Of course, we'll do that in the background and come back when that's ready. Alright, so we're gathering resources to upgrade our soldiers, and yeah, we just need another 1,000-ish iron ingots to then upgrade our soldiers in 3 different categories. So we're going to be doing, I'll tell you now. So we're going to do basic weapons. It's going to be a +1 damage with some more upkeep. Leather armor, which is a +4 combat defense, but also food upkeep is higher. And then basic training, which is 1 attack damage and 4 combat defense, +1 gold upkeep per soldier, +2 upkeep per soldier. So in total 3 upkeep food, 1 gold, and almost 1 iron. Right, we'll do these 2 for now, and then we'll just get the rest of the iron over here. I do think we need to add another worker to our farmer or game wardens. And yeah, start collecting more iron. Alright, so this should allow us to survive the next battle. Of course, losing battles means we lose a lot. So resources, gold, you name it. Not great. Alright, so since that's been done and our current storage capacity is sitting at 50,000 / 20,000 for gold, our next big thing to get is perhaps look at either dwellings. We're missing something here, which that kind of looks like a church building or church related. So I'm going to go to the church option here and see what we can grab. There is a soup kitchen policy, so we're going to unlock this. I have no idea what that does. We'll unlock the Heaven's Blessing. And then we will upgrade the church to a level 2 church. Which does require us to get 49,000 stone. Wow, that's crazy. Alright, so stone it is. This might take a minute. Alrighty. It seems like there's a change of music, which is quite nice. So there's quite a few soundtracks, it seems. And yeah, that's quite nice. Nice and peaceful. Definitely a calming game to play. Alright, we're almost there. We're approaching our goal. Need another 4,000 stone, and then we can upgrade our church to level 2. Alright, we're approaching our goal. Now let's see what this upgrade gets us. Are we going to go to the build? A sturdy stone church strengthens community spirit, enhancing town unity and growth. So it unlocks religious research and 10% happiness bonus. Ooh, that's quite cool. Got a graveyard now. Okay, we got some more research that wasn't named there before. Okay, we have tithes. So unlocks tithes policy, which is a negative 20% happiness, but plus 1 gold per 15 population per second. So 1 gold per 15 population. So if we're looking at what is that? 100 gold, 200 gold now currently to 220 per second. That's not bad, but it is negative 20% happiness, so that is the drawback. And that seems like that's the only research available there for the church. Ooh, an army of rats is approaching. It's a horde of huge rats, and it's an extreme amount. Let's go to the research, the military building. We're going to add, let's add 6. Alright, we're adding another 11 recruits. And that's the current upkeep. So of course this is going to bankrupt us a bit, but we are going to get some more units. That is going to be quite intense. Alright, we also have another worker available, so let's put them here in the iron mines. And it seems like our church is having a festival, maybe? Right, we're a bit behind on stone and iron, so we're going to have to figure out a way to increase production. Doesn't seem like there's anything left to do unless we upgrade our buildings. Currently our population is stuck at 382, so for us to get to the next level of dwellings, we need these two things, which is something I don't know much about. Perhaps it's the alchemy of regents. Maybe. Uh-oh. Did we... I think we defeated them. Okay, we lost 7 defenders and 22 civilians. Oh my goodness, we lost the raid. Okay, that is the downside of not having a strong enough army in time. So, lesson learned, we're going to have to increase our efforts. We lost a bit of resources there. Not good. Looks like we're going to have to farm goodies after all. What can we research in the alchemy tab though? Not much. Perhaps the public house has an option. Happiness bonus, that's good. What else do we have available here? Doesn't say. Wait, this is the tavern, right? Yeah, so there's definitely going to be something here for upgrading our population. So let's go star this. Get these resources ready. We're actually quite close. We just need iron, I think. Iron. Well, we're currently in the negative for food, which means we're going to have to drop these guys. Go to our food tab. Crack these on. Alright, we should be... still not. Well, has that fixed it? It is not. Alright, we're in trouble. Our food net change is -10 per second, so we're going to have to address this now, otherwise it's going to get quite bad. Let's go to fishing hut. Nope. What about game lodge? Ooh. Okay, that's just capacity. We have huntsman skill, that's good. I think we focus on that. And perhaps that. Alright, let's get some gold. Alright, so let's try and get some more food in our stores. Which means going to level 2 labor. Okay, we need 3,000 gold. So more mining. Oh, hold on. Oh, I see. So because we were training units, it was actually giving us a false reading on our net change on food. We're actually fine. So we just need iron for the traveler's alchemist. Ale house. Well, this is going to take a minute, so I'll just do this off camera. Alright, we're approaching our goal of 6,750 iron. Although we are losing a bit of gold due to upkeep. But we can just farm that quickly. I guess while we're waiting, we'll just get to 6750. Go to the gold mine and try to get some gold in. Right, after this, I do think we should start upgrading our mines just to make sure that, you know, we're efficiently gathering goods. I think the iron mine and stone and gold are next on my to-do list. Right, we're bleeding metal. Alright, we should be good now. Let's quickly upgrade this. Damn it. I think if we get to at least 6,900, we should be fine. Alright, there we go. Okay, tavern is unlocked. Tavern 2, sorry. We've hit 406 housing capacity, so we should meet our goal very, very shortly. And we have unlocked some more research, some more happiness, minstrels. There's a shop we can buy. Yes, some coffee. We'll buy some coffee for everyone. It's a nice little bonus. Do some research. Seems like there's one that's not too far away. Ministries 1. But unfortunately we have no gold. So we're going to have to find a way. Okay, we're losing 0.11 gold per second, which means we're going to have to possibly drop a couple workers there. Add these guys back. Right, we're at a positive of 5.4 per second. Up to 20 total soldiers. Let's go to the iron mine because we are also bleeding here. I think we should take away one quarry worker. Put that in there. Alright, so we're in the positive for everything. Now let's find our next goal, which is Miner's Drift. So what we get is a +1 base iron productivity, +3 maximum iron workers, and +20,000 iron storage. Alright, so to get this, we're going to need 4,500 iron. And I guess we'll do this until the quest completes, which will be any moment now. Another 6 more people, and then we have completed our quest, and the next event should begin. Alright, another worker. We'll put them in the gold mine. Go back to our iron mine. And I think in the next tick we should reach our goal of 400 population. We're about halfway, well, a bit under halfway from our Miner's Drift upgrade. Oh, and there we go. Goal is complete. Over time, people from kingdoms near and far heard of Freetown of Zenji's kingdom. But as our population grew, we began to attract the attention of large and more dangerous groups of enemies. Oh joy. Build northern and southern walls. Oi, what does that mean? Alright, going to the blue arrow. Southern wall. Northern wall. Oh my goodness. 73,000 wood. Holy moly. I guess the bottom one is also going to be that amount. Yep. Alright, well, good news. We have the food for both. I mean, that's pretty good. Stone. Oh, sorry, no stone, just iron. Holy. Okay. That's the next gigantic goal. I think we're going to have to just focus on getting iron and gold at the moment. Food and wood will be fine without much management. But yeah, we're going to have to just focus on upgrading anything mining related, anything gold related. That means we're going to have to just, yeah, get base level productivity up by 1 wherever we can find it. Alright, we are approaching our goal. Another 300 metal or iron ingots. Of course, we do go above and beyond just because we're in a slight positive, but yeah. Alright, all the while, a army of goblins is approaching, and of course they're extreme, which means horrific things for us. Hopefully we can defend ourselves. We've upgraded our soldiers, and we have 20 of them, so let's see how this goes. We have all the resources for an upgrade over here. Let's upgrade our mine. Alright, so of course some extra research is available. I think we're going to go to the iron mine. Alright, so now we just need another 4,500 iron. When would it end? Or another 7,500 iron to get iron production too. Okay, yeah. Okay, we'll do that. So 7,000 gives us 10% iron production. And we'll do that quickly. But let's get some more workers in here. Let's take a bit off. Huh. I wonder why. Alright, we're slowly losing food. Which I don't like. So we'll take one off. We'll take one off, or two off gold. Let's go to... Okay, these guys are maxed out. Let's go to the fisheries. I think that puts us in a positive. Okay, fantastic. We're all in a positive. Go back here. Add another worker there. Alright, so we need... What do we need? I really do wish I could pin research items. That would be nice. Because there's a lot going on. So 7,500 metal. Alright, let's do that. All the while, a horde of goblins are here. So let's see how 20 of our soldiers do. Oh no, we lost again. Okay, this is actually freaking difficult. I mean, what do I do here? Oh, and we're gonna have a happiness negativity debuff, efficiency debuff. Oh my goodness. This idle clicker is not so idle, it's more stressful at this point. I am quite glad though that the soldiers replenish on their own. They're not just something you have to constantly, you know, keep production tabs open for. Alright, we've reached our goal. Now let's go to the gold mine. Let's see if we're gonna get some more gold out of here. I think we need 2,250, but we'll do 2,500. Oh, these numbers are so low. And we're producing more soldiers, so of course the amounts are going to be even lower. Let's quickly have a look. I don't know if we'll get this in time. Oh, it's 3,000 gold, my mistake. And we're currently making negative 1.3. Fantastic. Alright, we've reached our goal. So let's quickly go to our upgrade, because we have to be quick here. Alright, we got skilled labor 2. Iron production is now higher. What else now? What do we do? There's no speed control, so you got to think on your feet. What's happening in the town square? Work teams? Okay. I mean, that's pretty good, but that's so expensive. That's really expensive. 35,000 stone is ridiculous. What is these northern wall? Northern wall is also ridiculous. 73,000 wood. I mean, we're not getting there anytime soon. And road network +2 to all resource gathering. This is doable. This is doable. All right, we're going to do roads too. And of course, we're going to do this off camera because 27,000 stone is a lot. Okay. Right, we actually decided to upgrade our stone quarry. So that was about 6,000 stone, 2,000 metal, etc. So yeah, we had to do it because the speed is just not fast enough. So let's also focus on getting perhaps the stone production up by 10%. We almost have enough stone as it is, so another 500 there. We just need some gold. Let's go to our gold tab. Oh, and we're bleeding food. What's happening? My goodness. I actually have no idea. Alright, we're gonna have to just collect some food. We're still negative. Oh my goodness. Alright, we're just in the positive now. Alright, so we're looking for 3,000 gold so that our stone production can be increased by 10%. So that's 10 for every 100 mined, an extra 10. 400 for every 1,000. And I think after we get this upgrade, we focus on getting maybe some more soldiers, just because I cannot lose again for the fourth time. After your third lesson, you should have learned something, as they say. Alright, we're approaching our goal. Should have enough to upgrade. Alright, we've got 3,000 golds. Now, where were we? Oh my goodness. Alright, we already got that. Was it here? I think it was the stone quarry. Yeah, stone quarry labor 2. Unlock that. Of course, a large enemy horde is on their way, so let's go to the guard towers, military. Let's add another 4. Another 5. I don't think there's anything we can do in time. Maybe something at the blacksmith. What about research? Okay, wait, hold on. Weapons. Maybe armor? Armor sets? Nope. Just volume. So a pack of orcs. Oh my god, this is going to be terrible. How quick are we going to be able to train these guys? We might be able to get all these done in time, but it's going to be close. I don't think we won because we had 20 soldiers last time. My goodness. Alright, playing on hard difficulty might not be the easiest thing, especially for your first playthrough. Let's see. Maybe if we spend all of our resources before they get to us, we'll be fine. What can we upgrade? Maybe the gold mine? Let's see. Nope, we need stuff done. What about our chief's house? Yeah, let's upgrade that. Actually forgot we had that for a second. We also have a mayor's house. Inspirational leadership. Working at a location gives workers the inspirational buff. Okay. I'll take that. Dedicated leader. Personal resource gathering power. Plus 10%. We'll take that. I'm just trying to spend all my resources before the orcs take it away. You know what I'm saying? And to upgrade this, we need some housing. Green housing thing. I don't know what that means. What about the town square? Also a bit out of our reach at the moment. Oh, library. Alright, let's see. No! We lost again. 14 orcs. Damn it. Okay, so because we spent all of our goods, it couldn't really take too much from us. Of course, we get the negative debuff of recently being raided, so... Don't know how we're going to get past this. Right, let's get some more wood because we're going to have to get an educational center going. Tell you what, we are bleeding resources. Military, let's pause these for now. Okay, library. Builds. Library's built, but we're using food. No, we're gaining food now. Okay, I don't know what that actually gave us. Let's take a look. Library. Education. 2 global resource harvesting. Okay, we'll take that. Just need some food. Some wood. I think we need to get some wood gatherers back on the ball here. We have none in stock. Let's take a look. What is the 1300 wood? Alright, we should have some more global resource gathering. Okay. We're getting somewhere. Okay, wow. Food's at 142. That's crazy. That was a very good move. I will do that again in the future. Okay, I'm not doing that. Unfortunately, I'm broke. I'm broke. Did we get the road? We did not. 27,000. It is possible. Let's try get the road up and ready. I think what we'll do is we'll unpause these and add in another 10 extra trainees. This is something we have to do, unfortunately. So 20 soldiers is not enough. We need way more. I thought this was going to be a chilled game. Oh my goodness. I'm surviving for my life over here. I'm sure there's an optimal way of playing this, doing certain upgrades at certain moments, but of course we're still trying to figure it all out. So some of it is intuition, some of it is blind luck, and I guess some of it is stupidity, so we'll have to learn from our mistakes. Alright, we'll do the rest off camera just to make sure we get there. Okay, we're approaching our goal of 27,000 stone. With this upgrade, we can then upgrade roads too, which should increase our production speed. So let's take a look and see what it gets us. So it's a +2 extra to all resource gathering. Of course, we are going to unlock that. Now, currently you're sitting at +95 for food, +15 for lumber, +45 for stone, +43 for iron, and +7 for gold. Now, with that all being said, let's try and prepare for the next raid. Is there any research we could do? Or is it not? But we could always upgrade the building itself. That is, of course, going to cost 25,000 stone and wood, and then about 6,000 gold. Alright, so this will be our next goal, because we need to get better weapons and possibly more soldiers. So we're sitting at 19, but 16 is left in the production queue. Alright, we'll do this in the background and hopefully get that done ASAP. Okay, an army of goblins is arriving. And boy, am I not keen for it. Let's see if we can maybe buy a few more guards. We have 8 in production, 7. So unfortunately, we'll get what we get, and yeah, it is what it is. But hey, we are approaching our goal of upgrading to the Sentry Hall, which is another 1,000 away. Don't know if that's going to have any bearing on our next fight. But let's see. Maybe it does. Faster training. Maybe we could get this in time. There is no pause function, so it's just fight. 21,000 gold. Oh my goodness. Did that price just go up? Oh, this is interesting. I think the pricing is related to population growth. It must be, because that total is climbed. I don't know if it does it again, but we'll see. Also, can't afford it, so we'll have to wait and see. Although the barracks look quite cool. We've got some armor sets now. The next upgrade is way too big for us. Let's get some more stone. The goblins are almost here. And there's nothing we can do. There's a call to arms. Okay, that was... okay, that's not too bad. We need these, and we just cannot afford any of them. Well, let's see how our fighters are doing. Ooh, I think we're doing good. Oh, we won! Oh my goodness. I think we upgraded just in the nick of time there. Okay, we're back. Honestly, I was so despondent. I was like, oh shit, is this like a downhill spiral? But clearly not. Okay, I think this craftsman's yard is possibly the next option. There is a library one. The next quest. Okay, we can't do this just yet. Alright, no education left to acquire either. Alright, iron, we're going to have to add a couple guys there. Alright, currently sitting at negative 46. I think that's because we are training a few guards. Yeah, so. Alright, craftsman's yard, 18,000. What else can we upgrade? We have an alchemist. We haven't built yet. I think this is something we probably need to get... Oh, sorry. We have an alchemist and we haven't upgraded it yet. There is a market, though. Let's take a look. Okay, cannot do that yet. Hunting produces a small amount of cash. We'll take it. 5% to all production. Okay, we'll take it. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, we can't upgrade that. We could upgrade the alchemist, but that doesn't really get us anything. Purchase 2, road, blacksmith 1, carpenter 1. The carpenter is that amount. Blacksmith is pretty much the same. A little less, actually. Let's do that. We'll go for the easier option. Alright, gold, we'll get there on its own. Iron, we're there. Stone. Alright, looks like we're gathering wood for the boys. Alright, so we need 15,000 or 16,000 stone. Alright, I'm sure once we upgrade this, we can upgrade tool efficiency, so we can obviously harvest more goodies. Then possibly weapon upgrades. It's definitely in our interest to get this going as soon as possible. We're about halfway there. And then we need to find a way to increase our population housing because we're almost at our limit. And then possibly we'll be fine for the next battle that comes our way, but maybe one more after that we're going to have to make some changes. So either get some upgrades or do some research. We're approaching 16,000, another about 4,000 left. We should get to stone at the same rate, so this will be interesting. It's a bit of a race. We'll see what happens. I do quite enjoy the music. It's quite lively but also calming. Alright, we have gotten there at the same time. We're going to upgrade this. So this gives us iron tools for improved production. So blacksmith 2 is unlocked. And that means... which tab is it? That looks like blacksmithing. Okay, tool forging plus 15% gathering. That's expensive. And weapon forging. I think we'll do this one. Ooh, battle loot. Unlocks battle rewards from goblins by reforging crude goblin metal. Okay. Armor forging. Right, we're going to be spending a lot of gold and resources in this department. I think we'll do this one first. So 18,000 metal, 18,000 wood, 9,000 gold. And yeah, we're going to have to get there sooner rather than later. Because the northern wall, I mean, we're looking at this crazy amount. I mean, these two amounts are pretty okay, but the wood is just ridiculous. Alright, let's take a look. I think the military is training something. No? Let's -1. There we go. We're in the positive still. All right. Well, let's get some wood. I guess we'll take some workers off the stone production. Yeah, we got 2 there. Add 2 more. I think we do an upgrade here, so let's get some wood in. Gives us some wood productivity, workers, and wood storage. Oops, I'm going to click this. I think that's enough. No, 12,000. Alright, let's upgrade this. Oh, and obviously more research. So if we go to our wood tab, see there's iron tools plus 100% wood production. That's not too bad. And extra wood storage. Plus skilled labor. Alright, we've got to get all these done. So just basically farm wood while we wait for an army of goblins. So it's a moderate amount of goblins, so we should be fine this round. And we're getting about 20 wood per... yes, click. And 100 wood per tick of work from workers. So we should get to our goal relatively soon. I think we'll need at least 20,000 wood to do all these upgrades. And then from there, we'll focus on getting more weapon upgrades. Yeah, that's moving quite quickly now. I'm sure we'll hit 20,000 before the goblins reach us. And we're currently bleeding food, it seems. -14. Sanitation is a negative debuff. I don't even know what that means, but we'll have to figure it out when we get there. Alright, lumber research, let's go. Iron tools. And skilled labor. And then storage, we just need another 1,500 metal. We can get that going. I'll click on that. Okay, our skilled army is going to take on some goblins. I do want to get some goblin loot though, that'd be very cool. So the numbers you see on the bottom right is deaths, so we're actually doing quite well now. I think one more fight and we possibly start losing though. I actually don't know if that's enough. It is indeed. Alright, that is the wood upgrades. Stone upgrades. I guess we could do some iron tools. Wouldn't be a bad idea. Always need stone. And then we'll do blacksmithing where we get a few of these. And predominantly this one. I do want battle rewards from goblins. Only from goblins, so no other enemies, unfortunately. Alright, we do have a problem there. Our food stocks is dwindling. Fishing hut 2. Maybe we need to upgrade our farm. Yep, it's the farm upgrade. And we'll do improved work area or skilled labor. Possibly skilled labor. Alright, so we just need 10,000 food and we can get that upgrade. Alright, so sometimes you're going to have to jump around and focus on different things based on resources. So of course, food is dwindling, we've got to jump on that. But it does give our other resources a chance to start growing, so wood, stone and gold. So it's not necessarily a bad thing, as long as everything's going up at the same time. Alright, upgrade time. Oh, 18,000 food. Research time. Farm. Skilled labor. Alright, puts us at a +6. I think while we're at it though, let's upgrade the farm. 18,000. It's a lot. That is a lot. Alright, we're going to do this off camera just so that we can get it out the way. Okay, we're about to reach our goal, but also there's some orcs approaching. So this is round 2 of our orc invasion. Hopefully we can take them out. Oh, we are going to go down to our corn farm, or farm. And we're going to upgrade it. Et voila. Now we're generating 17 food per second, so net change. We have some upgrades available. And it's extra food, work area, extra food 2, iron tools. Among skilled labor. So all the good things that we need. But let's take a look. We have access to the southern wall. Now we're actually getting a little closer. So wood is getting there on its own. Food should get there. We're just lacking in iron. So I think I'll try and get one of the walls done. Just one. And then focus on upgrades after that. Is there a way to pin this though? Because that would be... Yes, there is. Okay, great. Maybe we take off some workers here, put them over here. Alright, the orcs are almost at our doorstep. I'm sure this graphic on the right changes once we've built our walls. So it could be quite interesting to see how that plays out. Now we're about a third of the way through our iron requirement for a wooden palisade wall. Definitely means it's going to be a... Oh shit. I don't think we win this fight. Oh no. We lost. Defeated by 19 orcs. And we lost, oh my goodness, all those resources. Well, it could be worse. I think the recovery is worse than actually winning. Or losing. Oh well, it's going to take us a minute or two to recuperate. Oh well, we're about halfway through our iron requirements and still maybe 1/4 through our food requirement. Now there's 17k for the wood and gold's actually almost there on its own. So it's just the iron that's a little tedious. I do wish the sound wasn't so weird. Alright, just another 6,000 and we should be ready for our iron. For one palisade wall, so we're going to have to do this all over again for the next one. And of course, we don't just stop at iron, wooden palisade wall. We're going to have to do probably wooden palisade wall 2, and then maybe 3, and then stone, 1, 2, 3. I don't even think iron walls exist, but if they did, we would be in this game. Alright, well, we'll do the rest off camera and then get back. Alright, we're approaching our goal of, there we go, 21,000 food. Alright, let's build the southern wall. Defenders get first strike, both north and south palisades required. Ooh, that's cool. Oh my goodness, and you can upgrade it. That's ridiculous. Oh my goodness. Alright, so when it is upgraded, plus 20% to defense, both north and south palisade required. This is torture. Oh, the farm's outside the city. Alright, what do we do here? I mean, we obviously go for the next wall. And we're going to have to do some workshop upgrades or blacksmith upgrades, because we cannot keep losing to our enemies. So we're going to have to go with soldiers attack. We need iron and gold. And iron and gold. We'll go for the bigger one first. So 15,000 iron and 8,000 gold. Alright, we'll check back in once that's done. Alrighty, we're approaching our goal of 18,000 gold. And we should be able to do 2 weapon upgrades at the blacksmith. So we go all the way down here. Blacksmith, research. Now we can do weapon forging 2, +1 to soldier attack. Okay, and armor forging 2. But it does give us a little bit of extra gold left over. I guess we could do tool forging, which does give us 15% resource gathering, which is not a bad an option. 6,000 gold, 16,000 metal. I'll just do it. More resources, the better. Alright, orcs round 2. We have the same amount of army number, but we just did 2 upgrades. So we'll see how this goes. It would be nice to have the northern palisade up and running. That does give us a 20% boost in our defense. And unfortunately, it's just too rich for our blood at the moment. Just going to have to focus on getting tool efficiency upgrades. So we need 18,000 total of this metal. Alright, just over halfway. Would be cool if you could customize your color scheme for your armor. I see it's blue and white and possibly silver. Be nice to be able to change that. Or maybe have like your shield as your heraldry. Maybe a little bit of a excessive detail, but maybe in a future update. Alright, we are approaching our goal of 18,000 metal. All the while, the orcs are at our doorstep. Alright, let's see how this unfolds. Remember, we're watching the numbers, the negative flashes. Okay, even. Alright, I think we win this. Yeah. Alright. What do we get? Nothing. We get to live. What were we doing? Actually, I have no idea. Research. Yes. Okay, we need 9,000 gold now. So let's go to our gold tab. And then possibly after this, either do the northern palisade wall or we upgrade the gold mine. But let's wait and see. We do have enough of our food for the northern palisade wall. The wood will get there on its own. Of course, the metal is always a problem at the moment, so we'll do the upgrade. Although I'm very tempted to use this one, but of course we still need so much gold, so it's almost pointless to consider it right this second. Alright, there we go. Now we go back to the blacksmith, go to research, and then we buy the global research modifier. Alright, all that's left in the blacksmith level 2 is Loot Goblin. Unlocks battle rewards from goblins. Again, that is just out of our league, so let's focus on the bigger picture. And let's get the northern palisade wall up and running. Let's get our wood production up and running first. And then once we have the wood, we'll switch over to maybe gold. Then after that, we'll do iron. What we can do is once we hit the wood goal is we can take out our woodworkers and put them into other crafts so that those numbers could possibly go up a lot quicker. Alright, so we're looking for 72,000 wood. So only about 24,000 left. It's going so quickly. Almost 1,000 every 3 seconds, so yeah, about a minute or so we should be done. A minute or two. Okay, we've reached our wood goal. Let's remove a few workers. Go to our gold mine. We'll add them over here. Go to our iron mine. Add them over there. And you guys know the drill. We're going to get the northern wall and we're going to put it on. We're going to pin it so we know where we stand. Alright, so it's going to take us a minute to get to this goal. We'll do that off camera and then get back when that's done. Alrighty, a army of goblins is approaching, and it's a moderate-sized group. Now we do have about 5,000 gold left before we can upgrade the wooden palisade on the northern side. Now it's quite interesting, we'll be able to get this done in time, but having an enemy approach while the wall's going up is quite hilarious. So we'll see how that affects things. But I think we should be fine here. Just another 2,000 gold. And then we can instantly build a wall around our encampment. Alright, there we go. Let's build this wall. Okay, we get first strike. I wonder what that means. Okay, we can read this while they approach. The corrupt monarch of Assenholt has sent his soldiers back to our village. This time they demand 40,000 gold in tribute and ongoing taxes while refusing to spare even a single soldier to protect us. I guess we have to accept because of whatever reason. All the while, we have our enemy approaching. Well, let's see how this goes. We get first attack. I wonder if that means we just strike first. I must say, this game is so addictive. I can't put it down. I've been playing for like, I don't know how many hours. 3.5 hours. It's honestly, yeah, it's great. It's kind of a breath of fresh air. Alright, let's see how this battle goes. Enemy is at our gates. Oh, we got first strike. We hit 25 goblins, 23, 3, done. 51 goblins dead. Okay, so we get a proper first strike on the main group. That's crazy. Alright, well, now we need 40,000 gold for some reason. That just kind of, I don't know, takes the wind out of my sails, but let's see. We cannot upgrade the gold mine without this green thing, and I have no idea what that means. Maybe there's some research. There is. Alright, we can get gold production. We'll get that. We'll also get gold workers too. And labor. So let's start mining some gold. We need a lot of this. Of course, 40,000 gold is nothing to scoff at. That is quite a large number. Alright, so we are looking for 9,000 gold to get a skill production upgrade done. But yeah, there is so much going on in this game. It really is great, and everything's interlinked, so it sort of, yeah, you can't upgrade one thing without the other. Your focus is split most of the time, but it's great. I mean, it's actually quite complex, this game. It's not so relaxed and simple. Another worker available. Where shall we put you? Perhaps on the iron mines, because we're always struggling with iron. Alright, we should have enough now to do some research. I'm gonna go with a skilled labor. And then we'll go with improved work area, which only requires about 2,250 gold. So we'll get there relatively quickly. And then I think there's some sort of mayoral upgrade. And we can get some higher rates when we're holding down our mouse over these gathering areas. I feel like we're due for an upgrade sometime. Alright, we got that. What else? That's it for now. Alright, we're going to go to the center of town and do a bit of exploration, see what's available. There is a research advisor. I guess we could buy that. Why not? Is there anything else? There is not. Alright, let's go to the tavern. We can buy coffee, but we're actually kind of broke. Where do we spend all of our cash now? I think this is due to something. Sanitation, foreign... Okay. The tax has just come in, that's why. Or it's still in progress until we pay them out. That's crazy. Well, I guess we could save 40,000 gold. It might take us a minute or two. I wonder if there's something we can buy to increase... Okay, there's a wood production thing there. Do you think there's a gold one? Ooh. I think there might be a gold or maybe at least a stone or iron one. I think we try this. Let's try get 4,500 gold quick. Spend a minute on that. Go to the wood. Spend another minute over here. We're looking for a good 18,000, so another 6,000 wood. See if we can upgrade the alchemist to level 2 and see what interesting potions we can buy. If there's a gold potion, definitely getting that one. Oh, we're running out of food. That's not good. Are we just bleeding? Okay, we're getting... Oh, interesting. The inspired buff sits along whichever building you're working in. So if I go to the game one... Hectic. Okay, so you can go to all three. Check this out. Okay, so it does the last two you've worked on. That seems to only last a minute. Okay. That's unfortunate. Alright, let's get this number up. Maybe above 5,000 just so we can survive. We only have 13.7 seconds remaining. Right, that's stagnated. I wonder why this debuff is so high. Goodness, another bloody army. Alright, time for some alchemy. Let's do a research upgrade, a building upgrade. Alright, Alchemist 2. Definitely think this icon needs to be here somewhere, so I kind of keep looking down here for some reason. Alright, let's look at the shop. Still a wood reward, a wood potion. Stone breaking powder. Oh, I see. Iron finding potion. Unlocks iron finding potion. Unlocks stone breaking powder. Well, unfortunately, nothing we want, but this will still be good for later on. Oh no. Shambling plants are on their way. Take them 2 minutes to get you. I think we're screwed because that looks like a giant monster pack. So let's add 3 soldiers just because we're kind of scared. And let's see what else we can get done. Research. So research at the carpenter allowed us to get higher resources. Maybe we need to upgrade the carpentry. Alright, let's go to our wood collection point. We're going to just gather some lumber. Need about 20,000 lumber to upgrade the carpentry. Level 2. I think we should have enough time before these monsters arrive. Alright, we'll wait till that's done and check back in. Alright, we have a bit of gold available, so we're going to get the Battle Loot Goblin, which unlocks battle rewards from goblins by reforging crude goblin metal. Now, we want to complete the main quest of getting 40,000 gold, but we don't have enough capacity to store 40,000 gold. So we're going to have to figure out how to get an extra 6,000 to 7,000 because we have an upgrade option inside the gold mine, but not... I don't know where anywhere else, so we're going to have to figure that out. And currently we're losing food, so let's go gather some. Let's go over here. We'll lose a few of those. I think we're good. Alright. And some rats are approaching. Fantastic. How do we increase our storage? You would think the warehouse. We cannot do that. Maybe the market? It's not the market. Carpenter would... I don't know. Alright, because I don't know, I'm just going to click around and see what I can find out. Not the church. Is the church shop? Huh. I'll buy the Heaven's Blessing. We'll get some more fishing done. That's nice. Alright, is there anything to research in the mayoral household? Does not look like it. And the upgrade is locked behind certain things. Town square. Ooh, town square is not. 14 equals a record reduction to skilled population. Wouldn't be opposed to getting this, but it doesn't help us get what we need. We need higher storage. And I don't know where to look. It's not like there's a wiki or anything. Game has not been released. What's this? Happiness bonus, that's always good. We should be good here with the rats. Yeah, we're good. We only lost 2 defenders. I actually have no idea how we're going to get 40,000 gold. Okay, that's just there. It's got to be the market, perhaps. Unlocks trading caravans. Can't even do that. I'm going in circles. Maybe a workshop. Unlocks workshop research. That might be the play. Let's pin that. And check the research tree. Oh. We're kind of stuck on level 2 of everything. Until we can do something. That's level 2. That's level 2. Or is level 2? The market is not. We can't do anything with the market just yet. Alright. By process of elimination, we have extra gold storage, right? But it doesn't get us to the amount of 40,000. We only get to 35,000. We cannot upgrade the mine because of this thing, which we don't know what that is. So it looks like the craftsman's yard is the play. We just need another 2,000 stone. Alright, there we go. Upgrade time. That's 3 personal gold click powder. Power. Can't read that. What is this? The workshop. Okay, we have global production, hunting, production added as gold. That's good. Gold production, love that. And that's it. So we have some good stuff, but we just don't have what we need. I'll just do that. Alright, we'll continue to search for an answer. This could be a play too. We're almost there actually. No. We're not there with stone or iron. Alright, we need about 15,000 iron, about 5,000 stone. Alright, we'll check back in once we got enough resources. Okay, we have some goblins approaching, and the threat is quite low, but I'm quite keen to see the resources we get from defeating these goblins. So let's gather some meat while we wait. We're just following up on some upgrades for gold, or through the workshop, sorry. And that is allowing gold upgrades or gold production upgrades. Quite interesting. Of course, that does not mean gold storage. So we're still trying to figure that part out. And I could be missing something, but let's wait and see. For now, let's see the goblins get defeated. We do have first strike. Alright, and there they go. What do we get? Oh, we got some cash and iron. That's brilliant, actually. I am very happy about that. Okay. I wish I got that sooner. Alright, going back to the workshop, we now can get leatherworking techniques. So plus 5% hunting production added as gold. And that is all the upgrades we can get there. So I think the next one is the carpenter. There's something here we're not getting. And I'm kind of interested to see. Alright, so we're going to pin that. We're going to need some wood. We're going to need some metal. I wish they would change the sound, but unfortunately that's the way it is. Alright, so only 16,000 metal required here. So we're about halfway through, and then another 4,000 wood. Should be able to get the journer's yard. And hopefully that does open up a gold storage opportunity so that we can actually store large amounts of gold. Because we cannot actually complete the quest because we don't have the capacity to. So this is our current roadblock at the moment. Alright, another 2,000 iron. We should be good to go. And then another 2,000 to 3,000 wood. We should have this upgrade. Right, now we can build the joiner's yard. Yeah, upgrade the workshop with tools for making furniture and wooden construction materials. So now we have the carpenter level 2. Go down to research. We've unlocked craftsmanship 2, which is resource gathering. And that's nice. That's it. Oh my goodness. I am at a loss. I don't know where to go. You could be staring me right in the face and I would not know how to proceed. Stone production over here. I mean, that's nice and all. Stone storage capacity. No. Alright. Iron mine. More iron storage, that's great, but not what we're looking for. It definitely won't be here, but let's just take a look. Nope. Nope. Oh, so I think we've got to figure out what the hell this green thing is. Come on. I don't know what that is. Maybe there is a setting. These are all of our events. Alright, I can't actually figure this out. Oh, we get more upkeep. Sorry, more cold storage. I don't know what this means. It could be the town center. Maybe this is the key. Sanitation. Alright, well, we're max golds. goodness. That is not good. Alright, let's check this upgrade first. Alrighty, metal should get there on its own. Stone should get there on its own. Let's go to wood. Alright, back to the gold mine we go. Going to research. We've now unlocked that. No more gold storage for us, unfortunately. Does give us a bit of time though. Alright, let's do some more. What is gold click power? I'm assuming it's me clicking on the gold icon, getting more gold. Tile square, carpenter. Another army of orcs is on its way. Get some more stone. Alright. Is there something at the market? There is not. Gold, 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 gold. Nothing at the fishing hut. That's interesting for us. Dwellings? No, not even any upgrades. What about the tavern? There's already a happiness bonus, which is nice. Which does negate a bit of that, which is quite nice actually. Alright, let's get that. We are going to be facing some orcs. These are moderate orcs, so we'll see how this goes. But I think what we'll do is we'll just focus on getting the town square level 3 up and running. So we need a lot of everything. 35,000 stone is ridiculous. So let's just focus on getting the iron first, and then we'll go to wood, and then stone. Alright, the battle is about to begin. And we get first strike. Oh, this is going to be close. Oh, there we go. We did it. Okay, we defeated orcs. Because they're orcs, we don't get any resources, but because we have the goblin research upgrade, so there might be other upgrades regarding other creatures we're fighting to get different types of resources, so it'd be quite interesting. Alright, we have enough iron. Let's get some wood now, but let's reduce this. Go to stone, increase that, go to wood. Alright, we're looking for 14,000 wood. Okay, something's just happened because we've been looking for gold storage this whole time, And 20,000 plus 15,000 is 35,000. Now, why the hell is it 45,000 at the moment? I have no idea. And this has been driving me nuts. So somehow it's worked itself out. Maybe it was a hidden upgrade somewhere. But I did not see it. That is just crazy. Anyway, I'm happy, but I'm also irritated at the same time. It could have been some underlying research that I've done that's now affected it or something like that. I don't know. But I know what I saw. I'm not crazy. Alright, anyway, we're about to hit 14,000 wood. And now the next big goal is getting a bazillion stone. So we're going to hit our quest goal now, which is then going to lead us to work on the market level 2. So hey, quest is completed. Okay, safe behind our new walls, a visiting merchant spreads tales of vast wealth to be made in foreign kingdoms. With an upgraded market, we can commission our own trade expeditions. Alright, so we're going to have to trade with distant settlements. I think there's a ship somewhere, or a ship will come here soon. Did see that in the preview. Right, but we did lose a bit of resources with that, I guess, gift to our enemies at Ashton. We're taking a look at our resource gathering rates, so we're going to get a plus 67.5 for gold, negative 18.45 for metal. I think that's due to something's affecting that. Military upkeep. Let's put a couple of these guys back in there. Alright, we're in the positive still. And we'll just add another stone worker there. We're at 99, that's not too bad. We're actually going to get there quite quickly. I think we'll just focus on getting metal quickly. And perhaps gold will get there on its own. Alright, so metal, stone, and wood are all ready. So let's go to gold. And get the last, I think, 2,000. And then we can upgrade our town square to level 3. Alright, there we go. Time to upgrade. So we get work teams are unlocked. Each worker now represents a small team, causing worker production to scale with population. Okay. Now we're going to be seeing some big numbers, I think. I hope. Things look a little different. Ooh, some skeleton boys are on their way. Ooh, extreme. That's not good. Let's get some more. I guess we'll get 6. Let's get 8 soldiers training. They're arriving in about 3 minutes, which gives us plenty of time. Maybe we can do 2 more. Alright. Hopefully we survive this, but their threat level is extreme. Actually, let's just go like 15. I'm not playing around. Alright, while that's going on, we're going to have to mine iron, because with every trainee we're utilizing quite a lot of resources there. Right, we're just going to wait for the skeletons to arrive. Okay, our skelly boys are here. Oh, we're doing quite well. Alright, we rushed to get an upgrade done. We just bought this martial training, which has done us quite well. And hey, no rewards, but we did get a lot. Yeah, we survived. I guess that's great. Good news for us. Are we in the negative with anything? It does not look like it. Okay, not so bad. Alright, well that's something we've done. I wonder if we can do upgrades now. We're still waiting for this green thing to reveal itself. I can't remember what that was. So what we can do now is upgrade the market. So we'll pin this. So much, oh my goodness. 42,000. Okay, we got some stone already. Let's get the metal, as always. Just metal, metal, metal. Alright, I'm sure once we get the small market, we're going to get a boat or something like that. I saw something in the preview of the game, but I don't know too much about it. I'll have to wait and see. But for now, we just need another 4,000 metal, 20,000 wood, and about 7,000 stone. And of course, 3,500 gold. Okay, we'll let the rest accumulate on its own. We're going to focus on getting wood. So I did see something about research. What was I looking at? Workers, that's not it. The personal gold clicker. Anyway, let's just keep clicking away. Well, looks like an army of orcs are on their way. And the threat level is quite low, so we should be fine this time around. Let's take a look, see. So currently our assignees are quite split. All food production is maxed out, as it should always be, because that is one thing we definitely need at all times. Alright, after the wood, we're going to focus on getting some gold. I think we'll get everything we need before the orcs arrive. It's just the iron, which is always a pain in my butt. Alright, gold is there. Guess we can drop a couple of these guys, put them in here. Alright, just another 2,000 iron. Then we can upgrade our market. And hopefully see where that road leads us. I think we're going to be trading with some foreign lands. So we're definitely going to be transporting some goods. So we'll see how that goes. Alright, there we go. Let's go to our marketplace. We're going to build and upgrade. And the orcs are arriving just in time. And let's see how this goes. It seems like we're fine. Yeah, all good. We lost only 3 members. Alright, let's go to the marketplace. There's a trader's caravan. Construct a small trading caravan enabling trade expeditions. That's expensive. Wow. This caravan speed, coinage. That's a drinking game. Alright, it's also very expensive. The amount of tabs, yeah, it's crazy. This is getting complicated, guys. Okay, we need stuff. What do we need? I mean, food is not looking that good. We need to do some upgrades here. Food storage, improved workers. Let's do these two. Oh my goodness, more iron. It's crazy how complicated this is getting, but also how satisfying it is at the same time. I feel like I'm in a casino, just, you know, going to the slots. But it's fun. I'm enjoying it. And it is harmless, I would say. Alright, back to what were we doing? Market? Not the market, we're at corn. We're at the corn. We're gonna do improved workers, extra food storage. Then there is farm production, which is a little pricey. Okay, the wood's gonna get there on its own. Iron is just never gonna do anything. So iron and gold for farm allocation. I think we need 9,000, so it'll take us a minute or two. Right, we'll check back in once this is done. Alrighty, so we're approaching our goal of adding a caravan to, of course, trade with foreign lands. This is a part of our quest. So we need to, I guess, upgrade the market research item for caravans. And that way we can then finish off this next part of the quest. So we just need another 3,000 gold to do that. And then, yeah, thereafter we'll see what happens. I'm sure we're going to be trading goods for gold. Or, you know, stone for gold, or gold for stone. Something like that. It's going to be a very simplistic this for that transaction, I think. But let's wait and see. Alright, there we go. So now we have our resources ready for the trader's caravan. So it's a small trading caravan enabling trade expeditions. Perhaps we just do this one too while we're at it. Okay, but yeah, trade expedition, select an expedition, choose a destination and select goods to buy and sell. Then press send expedition when ready. Okay, so let's do that. Expedition. Aha. Okay, these guys are our enemy. Let's go to Fangmire. These guys look like orcs or something. Okay, so they don't have... They got normal wood demand, normal stone demand, normal gold. They're like their iron, so we'll give them... What do I do here? Caravan size small, quality of goods. I actually don't know what I'm doing. Oh, I can only sell food. Okay, what about Snickton? Oh, okay. I understand. I need to... Okay, these guys I actually do need to sell to because I don't have access to the research to sell wood or stone or iron or gold. I don't know why, but... Okay, we'll sell... It's expedition cost. That's the cargo. 10,000 food. Takes about... Goodness, what is that? 6 minutes? 5 minutes? And... Caravan. So there is a ship transportation method. So that's the next unlock most likely. And then what do I want to buy? Do I want to buy... Iron's always a pain. But let's just go gold. And send expedition. Okay, some events such as trade expeditions will temporarily let you exceed your resource storage limit. Interesting. Okay, over the years it had become clear that our once humble hamlet now had greater ambitions. We decided it was time to seek out educated minds to help us build our future. Right, so we're going to upgrade the library and research blueprints. Alright, so that should come in the next 5 minutes. Alright, and that's the next quest. Right guys, I think we are going to leave it there for today. We've played almost 4.5 hours worth of gameplay. I think what we'll do is we'll continue this run and see how far we can get. We'll wait for these skeleton warriors to get here to fight them off. I think we've done quite well. We've managed to obtain 518 population. We are playing on hard mode and total soldier count is at 49. Let's just make that an even 50 for even sake. And then, yeah, I've got lots of research done. There's a crazy amount of research on every single tab. There's so many different buildings, upgrades. I mean, it's mental how layered this game is. And yeah, it's kind of addicting. Definitely want to come back and play some more. So I'll probably release a second and maybe third video with, yeah, I guess the rest of the playthrough. But hey, I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you again for joining in. I really do appreciate it. And before we head off, let's just watch these skeletons be demolished by our noble knights. All 50 of them. Although this, yeah. He got trained just in time. Alright, before the skeletons get here, current net change for gold is 8.26. Iron is 441. Stone is 0 because we've removed some workers. Wood is at 54 and food is at 28. Alright, onto the battle. Alright, first strike. And we have done it. We have won. Oh, they're back. What the hell? My goodness. Okay, we had to fight them twice, guys. That was crazy. Okay, so some skeletons actually respawn, so be wary of that fact. Cool. Thanks for joining in, guys. I really do appreciate it. And I will catch you in the next one. Cheers.